Before we get into today's video, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to be going to the World Ag Expo in Tulare, California from February 8th, 9th, and 10th. I'm going to be there all 3 days. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I want to see if there's anyone out there that wants to do maybe some kind of a meet and greet at one of the booths there. I'm sure we could line that kind of thing up. Just comment down below if that's something that interests you guys. If you're going to be there. I don't know how many people would be interested in that kind of thing. That's kind of why I'm asking you guys before I line something like that up. So if that interests you, comment down below. If it does, we'll line that up. Otherwise, maybe you'll see me walking around the show. Don't be afraid to say hi. Also, we're looking to tour some farms down there. So if you are a dairy farmer or a different kind of farmer from that Tulare, Fresno area and would be willing to tour us around your farm, that would be greatly appreciated. I was there a couple years ago, saw some incredible farms, and I'd like to tour some again this time. So shoot me an email if that is something you're willing to do, or a DM on Instagram. Either one will work. But with that being said, guys, we're gonna get right into today's video. Morning, everybody. Welcome back to another video. Today we are milking cows right now, and once that's done, we're gonna go and feed the cows. That's kind of what our morning looks like. This afternoon, we got a bunch of other stuff to do. So first, morning chores, same thing every single day. But we'll get that done pretty quickly here. We finished milking cows this morning and I switched over to feeding cows, but we're actually in the calf barn right now. The reason for that is because we're gonna start feeding the last two groups in this calf barn some TMR, that same silage mix that the milk cows get. The reason we do this is because these two last groups in this calf barn are almost ready to move out into the corrals. But instead of moving them outside, never letting them have a TMR before, making that transition a little bit harder, we like to get them started on that silage in the calf barn when they're still kind of used to the surrounding areas. We're gonna change one thing in their diet, which is silage. So you can see right now what they get is some hay. There's a bit of grass hay and alfalfa hay there. And then they also get this grain. It's kind of like a calf starter, corn, oats. It smells like molasses. They made this thing really tasty. The calves love it, but they're not gonna get these two ingredients anymore when they go outside to the corrals. They're gonna get all their feed out to the feed wagon. So we wanna get them used to that, the silage and the other types of grain they're gonna be eating. So we just pulled up in front of the calf barn here with the feed wagon. Now, obviously, the feed wagon's not gonna fit through this drive-through. The door's too small. So we're gonna dump some feed into this wheelbarrow here, and then the calf feeders can use it like they want. It's the afternoon now. We're done all the morning chores, feeding cows and milking. So now me and Dad are gonna be doing some work in our straw pack barn here. I'm first gonna move all the groups down one and mix this last group here. And then we're gonna open up all the straw packs and put some bedding in here because they're starting to get a little bit too dirty and we gotta put some clean straw in there. Looks like this water bowl's overflowing here. There's got to be something wrong with the float in there that moderates it, so we'll have to look at that later as well. You guys can see the loader through the door there. Dad's just lining up some bales there. I think he's got 4. I'll probably grab 2 more for a total of 6 for these 2 straw packs. This one's completely open. I'll wait until he's ready to come in here. Then we'll open this door. It's not too cold outside, still like -20, so cold enough to keep this door closed as much as possible. It's actually a pretty awesome way of putting the bedding in this pack barn. We got the concrete apron back here. It comes out, I believe, about 30 or 35 feet from the back of this barn. Set the bales down back here, cut the net wrap off of them, and then drive them in after. You do get a bit of a straw mess there, but that's okay because we scrape the snow here. Pretty much every week it's been snowing. So we gotta clean it back here quite a bit, and then all the straw just ends up on a pile over there, and we'll deal with it in the spring. Put it in the manure wagon, clean it up nicely, and it's a really nice, convenient way of getting the net wrap off of these bales, which is typically the most tedious thing about this job. But this way it's pretty nice and easy. We're all done bedding up these straw packs now. We're gonna go outside to corrals 6, 7, 8, and 9 and take out some close-up cows as well as some close-up heifers. This door is nice and frozen. So these are the close-up cows that we got going inside here. And we just parked the truck here mostly for the heifers. They seem to really not want to go inside. So this kind of helps guide them in. Be nice to get a gate on that post maybe. All right, ladies, let's go. And into the foggy barn. All those close-up cows are in their pen. We're gonna start processing them now, which is just their close-up processing, vaccines, trimming their tails, trimming their backs, doing that sort of thing. New ear tags. So right away, once we process these heifers, a lot of them only have a single small tag in front, and we got a bunch of replacement tags. So we've been giving them to these ladies. 1346, it's a way bigger tag than her last one. So we'll cut the old tag out with a pair of pliers. It's better to use pliers versus a knife because you know that heifer's swinging her head around. You don't want to bring a knife too close to her. This is the old tag. That's the front facing tag. You can see that's way too small. This was what she got when she was a calf, and we kind of switched that now. The calves get the big tags when they're young already, but we got some heifers that are coming into calf now with just a single small tag. It's pretty annoying. So we got the replacement tags. That's what we're doing there. And then she also got her collar. The actual transponder, the thing that relays her activity on this collar, is this part right here, the blue part. And that's gonna connect to the antenna in the barn and tell us when this lady comes in heat again. Just got the 2 vaccines. We've always been giving these to cows for years now, and they prevent against mastitis, and they also make sure that the calf is gonna calve in a lot healthier. That one vaccine is actually for the calf. We got our trimmer here, and we like to trim the backs of all the heifers because they come in with this gnarly winter coat, and this winter coat, it's gonna keep her really hot, which is a good thing if she's outside, but once she comes into the barn, this is a really bad thing because she's just gonna sweat, she's gonna be uncomfortably hot, and she's gonna constantly be irritated when she needs to calve. I don't know too much about being pregnant, but I imagine you don't wanna constantly be too warm when you are, so that's one thing that we do for these ladies. Oh, that's nice. A couple of days ago, me and Dad were out in the Corrals and we were taking manure off of the concrete right behind the feed bunks. This is a job that we got to do every month or so, maybe month and a half in the winter time. Otherwise, that manure right behind the feed bunks of the cows is going to build up too high and the cows won't be able to reach the feed in the feed bunks anymore. Eventually, if it does get high enough, they'll start to go on their knees so they can get a little bit lower and get the feed at the bottom of that feed bunk. But if it just builds up too high, eventually, it has happened in the past. I remember it maybe 10 years ago where Dad had to put a bale feeder in the corral and just feed the cows bales. So we were scraping that manure off of the concrete there in the corrals. So I'm gonna put a couple of clips up of that right now. All right, we just finished the evening milking here. You can hear the wash cycle probably just firing up there in the milking parlor. But one thing that we've noticed here, the crowd gate is kind of slowing down a little bit. And I think this is due to a little lack of maintenance on my part. Probably could have greased this thing a little bit sooner and topped off the oil reservoirs in here a little bit sooner as well. So there's a little box up there where there's an oil reservoir, so we gotta top that off. And then there's also a couple of grease circs around this crowd gate. So we brought our good old Milwaukee wireless grease gun. This thing's pretty awesome to work with. So we're gonna go ahead and give this thing a full-on maintenance. I'm gonna start out by topping up the reservoirs in here. So this thing's pretty much empty. It just takes some standard 10W30 oil. That's all there is to it. So that part is pretty much done. Now we're gonna go ahead and grease some bearings. Just pretty much that one right there. There's a couple there on the other side right there. Just a couple of grease circs on this crowd gate, a couple of bearings to take care of. I brought this oil can to the barn right away too, and what I wanted to do with this is I wanted to go along the entire chain above that concrete wall there and put a little bit of oil on there just directly so that I wasn't relying on the system in that crowd gate to drip it on there, just to make sure myself that the entire chain was properly greased. But I was wondering how I was gonna do that. I didn't want to bug someone to hold the button, so I think I'm just gonna try duct taping the button there to hold it on so that it moves forward, and then I'll climb up onto that crowd gate and slowly ride it forward while greasing the chain. This seems kind of unsafe, but this crowd gate is literally made to push cows around and be as safe as possible, so shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so that duct tape was a complete fail, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring the crowd gate all the way forward. You have to hold the button to bring it forward, but to bring it all the way to the back, just for convenience, all you need to do is click the button and it'll go all the way from the front, all the way to the back. So that's what we're gonna do. Just takes a long time to bring it all the way forwards. Right on, we got the crowd gate all the way to the front. As soon as I click reverse, it's gonna start going back right away. So we're gonna grab that thing, climb up there, and get that chain greased. Well, that actually worked really good. I think for the other side, I'm going to use a spray can just to use the difference. This kind of only puts it on one spot of the chain, whereas if I use a spray can, it's going to spread it over the entire chain. This stuff is called Rust Check. It's a Canadian company. We like to use this at the farm. They don't sponsor the video, but it's a Canadian company and we like to support local. So this is what we're going to be using. It's a pretty good lubricant. Round two. So I definitely think that did a better job coating the chain, but it will remain to be seen which does an actual better job. I know which one's gonna be cheaper. Definitely that standard 10W30 from the oil can. But that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.